Imagine pressing play on Kill Bill and realizing you re-not watching Volume 1 or Volume 2, you re-watching the version. Quentin Tarantino always intended a single relentless 4-hour revenge odyssey that almost no one on earth has seen in full. That's the hook. A film so famous, so loved, yet its true form has remained locked away like a cinematic forbidden treasure. And today, we're diving into the story behind that hidden cut, why it exists, why it disappeared, and why fans still chase it like a mythic artifact. Because The Whole Bloody Affair isn't just a longer edit. It's the purest expression of Tarantino's vision, the one he fought to create before Hollywood forced him to split the bride's journey in two. Kill Bill. The Whole Bloody Affair is the complete, uncut, and uninterrupted version of the iconic revenge saga. It blends everything, every frame, every fight, every emotional beat into one continuous ride, restoring all the scenes that were trimmed, softened, or toned down for the international theatrical releases. But if it's the definitive version, why haven't you ever seen it on streaming or Blu-ray? Why was it only shown at a few rare screenings, like brief flashes of a legend whispered about but never fully revealed? In this video, we're uncovering how this secret cut came to be, what makes it different, and why Tarantino diehards consider it the real Kill Bill. This is the story of a movie you've heard of your whole life, yet may never get to watch unless Hollywood finally sets it free. When Quentin Tarantino first wrote Kill Bill, he didn't imagine it as two separate movies or a divided experience. In his mind, it was always one long, uncompromising revenge, epic, a blood-soaked journey that followed the bride from her lowest moment to her final showdown without ever letting the audience breathe. But when he delivered the cut to Miramax, the runtime stretched past 4 hours, and the studio immediately pushed back. They worried that audiences wouldn't sit through a movie that long. They worried about ticket sales, and they worried about pacing. Tarantino, on the other hand, believed the length was part of the experience, the excess, the style, the emotion, all of it was meant to wash over the viewer in one massive wave. When the studio insisted on splitting it, Tarantino agreed, but not because he wanted to. He wanted the world to see it in one piece someday, as he originally imagined. And so The Whole Bloody Affair became his private vision, a film reshaped for theaters, but preserved somewhere in his archives exactly how he intended it. Watching it as one film isn't just longer, it changes the rhythm, the storytelling, and the very heart of the bride's journey. Most fans think The Whole Bloody Affair is simply Volume 1 and Volume 2, stitched together. But that couldn't be further from the truth. This version contains extended sequences, alternate edits, and footage that most viewers have never seen. One of the biggest differences is the legendary House of Blue Leaves fight. In the theatrical release, the scene switches to black and white, partly for stylistic reasons, but mostly to avoid MPAA restrictions. In The Whole Bloody Affair, the entire sequence stays in full, shocking color, showcasing Tarantino's wild choreography and the violent ballet exactly as it was shot. The anime segment depicting Orenishi's backstory is also longer and more graphic, with additional frames that deepen her tragic rise. The Pai Mei training scenes flow differently, with more breathing room and smoother transitions. Even the pacing of the bride's revenge path feels altered, because there's no break between volumes, no chapter stop, no tonal reset. Instead, it feels like one long story gaining momentum. These changes don't just add content, they add intensity. They make the world feel more cohesive and the emotional weight more pronounced, letting viewers absorb Kill Bill as a single, uninterrupted experience. If you've never watched The Whole Bloody Affair, you're not alone. Almost nobody has. Its screening history is so limited that it feels more like a legend than a film. The combined cut premiered at the Cannes Film Festival, where critics got their first glimpse of the true version Tarantino intended. After that, it didn't go to theaters worldwide. It didn't get a DVD release. It didn't hit streaming. Instead, it vanished. Years later, a handful of showings took place at the New Beverly Cinema in Los Angeles, a theater owned by Tarantino himself. Fans lined up for hours, some traveling across countries, just to watch a film that technically already existed but was almost impossible to find. Why so rare? Rights issues, distribution complications, leftover financial entanglements from the Weinstein era. Every time a release seemed close, something blocked it. The scarcity itself turned the film into a cult artifact. People whispered about it online, shared grainy bootleg screenshots, and debated whether certain scenes really existed. And because of that scarcity, The Whole Bloody Affair only grew more mythical, becoming more than a movie, becoming a cinematic ghost that surfaces for a moment and disappears again. Ask fans who've seen The Whole Bloody Affair, and almost all of them will tell you the same thing. This is the ultimate Kill Bill experience. Watching the movie in one long flow adds a rawness that's impossible to replicate when Volume 1 and Volume 2 are separate. The emotional arcs feel sharper. The bride's trauma, her determination, the intensity of her journey all blend seamlessly without the structural pause the studio imposed. It feels less like two stylized films and more like one evolving emotional story. Even the tone becomes richer. Vol 1's explosive action now connects directly to the quieter, more character-driven moments of Volume 2, creating a balance that enhances both parts. Plot revelations feel more cohesive because they're delivered without weeks or months between them, and the restored footage raises the stakes, giving the story a more brutal edge that emphasizes the danger the bride faces. Fans say that once you see the uncut House of Blue Leaves in full color, it's impossible to go back. Everything feels bolder, more confident, more Tarantino. For many, this isn't just a longer version, it's the version that makes Kill Bill feel complete. Like the story was finally allowed to breathe in its intended form. For years, rumors have circulated about a possible home release of the whole bloody affair. Tarantino himself has mentioned wanting to release it, and fans have waited, hoped, commented, speculated, but it still hasn't happened. So what's stopping it? Part of the problem lies in the complicated rights issues that followed Miramax's collapse and the broader legal battles surrounding Harvey Weinstein. Untangling the ownership of certain scenes, music rights, international cuts, and distribution deals has proven difficult. Every time talks come close, something new interrupts the process. There have been whispers of a Blu-ray release, a streaming premiere, even a 20th anniversary drop, but none materialized. The real question is whether Tarantino will push for a release before he retires from filmmaking entirely. With every new project he claims will be his last, fans hope that the whole bloody affair will finally be packaged and shared with the world as part of his legacy. Until then, it remains stuck in limbo, finished, complete, but inaccessible. Whether it ever becomes widely available depends on legal hurdles clearing and Tarantino deciding the time is finally right. And if that day ever comes, fans will be ready, waiting to experience Kill Bill the way it was meant to be seen. And that wraps up the story of Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair of film that exists. Yet most of the world has never had the chance to experience. It's rare, it's mysterious, and in many ways, it represents the purest form of Tarantino's vision, raw, uninterrupted, and unapologetically bold. Watching Kill Bill as one continuous saga doesn't just change the pacing. It changes the emotional weight, the momentum, and the entire shape of the bride's journey. It becomes less of a two-part revenge story and more of an epic odyssey carved straight out of Tarantino's imagination. Whether you've only seen Volume 1 and Volume 2 or you're one of the lucky few who caught a rare screening, there's no denying the fascination surrounding this hidden cut. And the biggest question remains, will the world ever get an official release? Or will the whole bloody affair continue living as a cinematic myth whispered about, referenced, but always out of reach? Let me know in the comments. Do you think this version should finally be released? Would you watch a 4-hour uncut Kill Bill if it dropped tomorrow? And which version do you consider the real definitive cut? Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring the stories behind the stories.